It's the day-to-day responses that you have to the things that are not so much the big ones that set up your vibrational readiness for life experience. In other words, you don't lose your connection with Source only when your father dies. You lose your connection to Source when you're mad at somebody at work, or when you negatively respond to someone in traffic. Life is not about these big, what feel like turning points. It's the moment-to-moment decision about turning downstream rather than upstream and doing it on purpose that makes up your life experience. The theme of this Art of Allowing workshop is really just lean downstream. It's not put a motor on your boat and hurry downstream. It's not create your own reality or something's gone wrong. It's you are pure positive energy beings who are supposed to feel good, and when you don't, you can't feel really good, but you can lean in the direction of what does feel good. The theme of this gathering has been recognize how I feel and somehow consciously make some point of reference of how I feel right now with a determined feeling to improve the feeling slightly. In other words, if you're not willing to acknowledge how this feels, then how can you know if you found a thought that feels better? And if you haven't found an awareness of where you are and reached deliberately for a better feeling thought, then you haven't quantified your journey. If you can't feel the difference between an upstream thought and a downstream thought from where you are, then you can't tell which way to go toward all the things that you want. It's the simple day-to-day experiences. We want Esther to pick up the telephone and complain, my breakfast isn't here, and then in the middle, even before she's spoken the words, we want her to remember that she has control of the way she feels, whether her breakfast is there or not. And we want her to come to a place of feeling good even if breakfast doesn't show up. You've got to decide that you are no longer responsive to conditions, that you are the controller of the way you feel. And you just have to practice it thought by thought by thought by thought by thought. We've noticed just in the time that we've been together today that there's not one of you who does not have awareness of the emotion within you. And it is our promise to you that you will never again experience any kind of emotion, positive or negative, without consciously acknowledging the correlation between what you're thinking and feeling, and very soon what's manifesting in your experience. You have now come back into conscious empowerment of your own life experience. Does that mean that it's all going to be easily downstream for you? No. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for you when you find yourself upstream to turn downstream. We want you to feel all right about that. The last thing in the world that we wanted you to get the impression of is that we think you're doing something wrong when you're pointed upstream. We don't. Upstream is part of the contrasting experience that helps you to differentiate what it is that you want. Upstream is the contrast that you knew would be here. We don't want you to feel bad about finding yourself upstream. We want you to feel glad that you are aware, that you know the difference between upstream and downstream. That's all. You think you know the difference? Could you feel it with those who sat in the chair? Do you think that you will be able to feel the difference when you are complaining about something and when you complain a little less? Do you think that you can tell the difference between a true complaint and an attitude of appreciation? Do you think that you have the ability to move from an attitude of complaint immediately to an attitude of appreciation? Do you think that you can immediately turn like that? You can't. Can you go from something that you really feel complained about to something that you really feel joyful about all at once? You can't. Don't you want to give yourself a break and stop trying the impossible? But do you think that you can complain about something and then complain about it a little less and a little less? Do you think that you can eventually turn a complaint into a, well, maybe it isn't so bad? You think that you can turn a complaint into well, maybe it isn't so bad and maybe there is a silver lining? You think you can turn a maybe there's a silver lining into, oh, I see definite benefit for me here? In other words, just be easy about this. Let the guidance that is within you do what it was always there to do, which is to help you feel the vibrational relationship between your mental stance and your mood right now and the mental stance and the mood of who you really are. If you're mad at somebody, you're out of whack with who you are. But it doesn't mean you're wrong. You might be really justified. It just means you're out of whack with who you really are. And you got to make a new decision. Is it more important to me to be right and justified in my madness toward you? Or do I want to be in alignment with who I really am? That's the choice that you're making all day, every day. And as you care more about how you feel and less about what other people think about how you feel, this will be such an easy turning for you all day, every day. We've been watching you and we've noticed that you are pivoting in this stream 1,000 or more times every day. And every time you pivot, you get closer to who you are. But you know what we've been watching? You're pivoting this way, then 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 this way, down and up and down and up and down and up and down and up, because you're letting the conditions control the direction of your thoughts. Now you know different. Now you're going to deliberately pivot down and down and down and down and down and down. And do you know, in less than 30 days of a concentrated effort at leaning in the direction of that which feels better to you, you will improve the vibrational frequency of your emitting vibration so substantially that every relationship you have will shift. Your relationship with money will shift. Your relationship with your body will shift. Everything in your life will shift and show you dramatic evidence of the shifting in your vibration within 30 days. So it's worth leaning downstream. We've enjoyed this interaction immensely. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain joyously and eternally incomplete.